So on the eve of bypoll being announced for Jubilee Hills constituency, the Congress government had in fact allotted 2,500 square yards of land for a graveyard, which the military came and claimed as their own. I have with me BRS Working President Mr. KT Rama Rao. Your party is now alleging that the Congress has not been honest in its intentions.
The Congress is never honest with any of its intentions or any of its actions. If you see what has been happening in Jubilee Hills, as a desperate measure to garner some support and garner some sympathy for their candidate, they have in a very hurried manner allocated about 2,500 square yards of land. Unfortunately, again, without even thinking through the consequences. So what has happened as a result is, now the defense people have showed up, the army people have showed up, the cantonment people. They're claiming that it's their land. And as a result, now the government is left with egg on its face. You have to think through whatever actions you take as a government. See, therefore, in the past, when we were in government in Telangana in 2022, we had allocated a land of almost 125 acres in the adjoining districts of Rangareddy, Vikarabad and Medchal, purely because Hyderabad has run out of land, for graveyards and for cemeteries. Unfortunately, there was not enough land inside. So outside, within the ORR, we had allocated 125 acres of land altogether for minorities, 44 acres to Christians, and the remaining to Muslims is what the allocation was. And this was all government land. Now today the Congress, in the last ditch, a desperate measure, tried to do something which of course didn't work, I guess.
In this case, of course, it was Waqf board, and they claim that they have the gazette which specifies that this land belongs to them.
Well, Waqf properties in Hyderabad and elsewhere in the country have always been contested, have always been debated by within the same government by various arms. For example, there was a very contentious issue again in Hyderabad itself, the Hussaini Shawali Dargah lands also. The government's two arms were fighting each other. Revenue department was fighting the Waqf board. So these sort of things, have to be thought through. Like I said, there are the courts of law in the country, there is the judiciary ultimately which gets to decide whose land it is, or a joint survey if the government is really keen and clear. But otherwise, you will continue to run into these sort of issues, which is not fair, especially in the run-up as a desperate measure to an election.
The other issue is the Congress government brought in free bus service for women, and now the bus fares being raised. Obviously, they're saying we are bringing in EVs and therefore infrastructure building needs to be done.
See, what we have to realize with the Congress party is they don't think of consequences on anything. They just want votes, they just want power, they just want to use Telangana as an ATM to continue to fund the machine called AICC. Because unfortunate for them, today, without thinking of consequences, they've launched this scheme called Free Bus. As a result, 600 crores of losses every month to the RTC, which government does not care to actually support RTC either. RTC employees are desperate now. In fact, they're reaching out to us saying all the promises that were made to them are not being fulfilled. As a consequence, today the model is women are using the free bus, but their family members are having to pay double the charges. So I don't know what kind of perverse logic this is, where the family ultimately ends up spending probably a little more than what they would have otherwise. So our MLAs today, 3 BRS MLAs, have launched a very unique protest. They have traveled on the buses, trying to talk to the passengers, trying to educate them about the sudden hike in bus charges and how corporation is being looted and corporation is not being supported by the government.
The other thing is about education institutions that you spoke about, that fee reimbursement is not happening, whether it is schools or in the colleges even. Are these unsustainable kind of packages? Obviously, when YSR introduced that fee reimbursement, that was very popular and considered a very successful scheme.
Well, 10 years we could run it successfully. 10 years we had to pay about 20,000 crores of rupees towards fees reimbursement, and we've been able to do it only because we were not keen like the Congress party is on just making money and sending it to Delhi all the time. You have to realize one simple thing. Congress party today has made a mess of Telangana's finances. In the last 22 months, they have raised the debt by 2.2 lakh crores, 10,000 crores per month. They have exceeded all kinds of limits on FRBM. Wonder why BJP remains silent. That's a separate story for a separate day. But the debt has gone up. Wonder where all this money is going though. Every single road in Hyderabad is filled with potholes. There is no sanitation being taken care of. There's nothing, no new scheme that has been implemented which takes away this kind of money. Where is all the money going? Hospitals are getting shut because Arogyasri dues are not being paid. Colleges are being shut because fees reimbursement dues are not being paid. Contractors are protesting. Small contractors in the Telangana State Secretariat saying that they have to pay 20 to 30% commissions. Wonder where all this money is going, because from what I realized and from what I understood, purely to fund the Congress party, All India Congress Committee, a lot of money is being pumped. Telangana Exchequer's money is being pumped into Delhi, into Mr. Rahul Gandhi's kitty maybe. And that's why you see Telangana in an extremely pathetic financial situation today.
Jubilee Hills election by poll coming up. You have already announced your candidate, but the record has been that sympathy vote and for a party that's in the opposition does not seem to really work.
Well, records are meant to be broken. So maybe we'll reverse it. Maybe we'll, see a different result this time. But I'm not worried about the Jubilee Hills election, because it's a one-off and we'll certainly win that. But at the end of the day, though, you have to realize the Congress party has done zero for Hyderabad in the last 22 months. They have not implemented a single scheme for the poor. They have not started a new infrastructure project. They keep dreaming about, hallucinating and dreaming and imagining about a future city which is non-existent. You cancel the metro rail within the city which is present, but you want to live in the future city which is non-existent. That shows the mindset of the Congress and their imaginary world that they live in. So we are very hopeful that we are going to do really well in Jubilee Hills and elsewhere, and also the local body elections which have been announced. So we're very hopeful and we are very optimistic.
The metro rail, of course, L&T exiting that, there was really no go, isn't it, for the government? It was a Hobson's choice.
No, absolutely not. In fact, if Metro was obligated till 2070, L&T was obligated to the state government and the people of Telangana to run despite whatever financial situation till 2070. What was the need for government to actually take the entire 15,000 crores of burden onto its balance sheet? Why did you take away 13,000 crores of debt from a private company, transfer it onto the exchequer? What was the need for that? And that too without a cabinet subcommittee, without a cabinet meeting, without a discussion in assembly, without even an all-party meeting, without any thought for consequence. So therefore I'd say one man's ego.
Because to go for phase 2, the government made it mandatory, the government of India.
Absolutely not. In fact, they could have convinced L&T. See, you rub off L&T the wrong way. The very minute you come into government, you basically cancel the airport metro, which was again awarded to L&T. They were ready to begin the work. You cancel that. I think a month after, the chief minister openly says, I'm going to throw L&T as CFO in a jail, just because he spoke against the free bus scheme and its loss to the public transport system, especially the metro. And third thing he does, as part of the political witch hunt, going after L&T in a big way on Medigadda barrage, just to possibly irritate the BRS leadership. You go after an agency like L&T. You disqualify them in Kodangal lift irrigation, technical disqualification. Apparently, Minister Srinivas Reddy's company is more qualified than L&T, so therefore L&T was disqualified. So my point is, you do all this, you basically leave no option for L&T, and I'm sure there are kickbacks as well involved in this whole process, which the Chief Minister is an expert blackmailer. So therefore, I would imagine a combination of coercion, blackmail, and leaving no choice to L&T is what has led to the situation where a prestigious institution like L&T has left the state. And mark my words, Uma, next 3 years, mark my words, a company like L&T is not going to come back to Telangana because of this harassment and blackmail of the current Congress dispensation.
Thank you so much. So the opposition leaders certainly talking about the way in which the government has been functioning, driving out a corporate and presumably driving out investment as well. We will need to wait for the Congress to give its reaction on this one. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.